I just hit 10K subscribers on YouTube. Here's 10 things that I learned from that. Sometimes you have to prioritize the money. Let me back up for a second. If you don't know me, my channel is all about freelance video editing, and I myself am a freelance video editor. Now, I do appreciate having this channel also as a creative outlet, as a way to eventually make passive income, and just a place to kind of dump my thoughts sometimes. But my first job, of course, is my freelance video editing job, and I take that job very seriously with all of my different clients and the work that I do. One of the biggest things that I encountered over my time of growing this channel, which has been like 5 years, is that while it's important to be consistent on YouTube, you do have to prioritize the thing that is making you money first and foremost. It's very easy to get lost in YouTube. Oh, I'm feeling kind of lazy today, so I don't really feel like doing my main job work. Instead, I'm just gonna focus on my fun YouTube work. While some days you might be able to get away with it, most days you're not going to be able to do that. Most days you're gonna have to focus on the job that makes you money. Because personally for me, even after hitting 10K subscribers here on YouTube, I'm not making very much money. And so if you yourself are in either a freelance role or sort of a flexible position with your main job, and you want to do this channel on the side to maybe potentially one day become a full-time content creator on YouTube, just know that yeah, you might get there one day. That's amazing. Go for it. But in the meantime, you're going to have to prioritize your main job first. Prioritize the job that is making you the most money consistently. If that means putting your YouTube channel on pause for a time because you can't keep up with it because you have to focus your time on your paying job, then that's what it means. It's okay. Your YouTube channel is not necessarily going to go anywhere if you skip a few weeks or even a few months. There was plenty of months over the past 5 years that I had not posted anything. I went on a hiatus because I just couldn't handle the consistency that comes with running a YouTube channel on top of having my own freelance business. And you know what? That's okay. My channel's still here. It still makes some money and it's still surviving. And now I've gotten it to this nice base where I can decide what I want to do with it ultimately. Yes, your growth will be slower, but YouTube is not a sure thing anyways. And relying on a platform to make you your full-time income is really risky. So in the meantime, while you are growing your channel, I would personally, if it's me, I focus on the money, I focus on the jobs that make me money, and I focus on YouTube second. Now that we got the tough talk out of the way, let's talk about comments. I feel like this is a bigger message that can expand to a lot of different things. People kind of say it in sports, really anything where you're kind of putting yourself out there for recognition, for praise, for criticism, for anything. Anytime you're putting yourself out there, you're going to receive some form of opinion by someone else. It's inevitable. And of course, everyone will tell you, don't let those comments get to you. Don't let criticism get to you. You know, you just got to keep going. People are going to share their opinions, whether they're good or bad. And luckily, I haven't gotten any terrible comments on this channel. I'm really lucky that most comments have either been praise or constructive criticism or just general comments or questions, but nothing too intense or triggering. However, another important factor to this is don't let the good comments get to you either. I feel like it is easy for me when I get a lot of really good comments. That is really boosting for me to keep going, hearing how my channel helps people or that they watched a video and they felt really inspired to get into video editing. But it can easily go to the other extreme for me where I kind of build up a little bit of an ego, or maybe I get a little bit lazy with the things that I'm saying, thinking that, oh, the things that I am saying are just so good that I don't have to do any additional research or look up additional proof that what I'm saying is truly helpful. I feel like it's easy to run into something like that, particularly in my channel where it is just kind of me talking. And I really try and refrain from that. Anytime that I maybe think that a script is good to go. And then I look it over again and I think, no, actually, it's not good to go. You don't have enough research in here. You don't have enough examples in here. You don't have enough concrete tips in here. It's important to stay between that balance of not letting bad comments get to you and also not letting good comments build you up too much and just sort of stay in this middle path of the straight and narrow of knowing that you're doing something good and important and relevant and helpful to people, and also continuing to want to do your best as well. Yes, this channel serves as a place for me to have a creative outlet to make the kind of content that I want to make, but I also learned very quickly in my channel that I couldn't just make anything and have it just automatically do well. Over time, I learned to do some research, look up specific keywords that people were searching for, research other similar creators and see the kind of content that they were making. And over time, I learned that when I did that research, those kinds of videos tended to do better than just these one-off random videos that I felt like I wanted to make, but really didn't hit on YouTube in that SEO kind of way. I think you can do a mix of both on your channel if you want your channel to serve as a means of a creative outlet for you, but also if you want it to survive, you want it to get views, you want to potentially make money off of it. There's definitely a balance between doing the videos that YouTube likes and the people like versus the videos you do just for you. And I think you can absolutely do both. But even though you may not want to do some videos, when you know that it's in your niche and the people would like to see those videos, you kind of sometimes have to do the things that you maybe don't want to do quite as much because you know that they're going to do well for your channel and ultimately put you in a better position where you have a bigger community and a bigger following. Sometimes you have to make those harder decisions. And ultimately, the ideal situation would be that you are making content that you enjoy making, that does well, that is well received amongst people, that gets people talking in the comments, that YouTube praises you for with money, and that you feel good about making. That would be the ideal situation. But you can't forget that element of giving the people what they want and paying attention to what videos do well and then making more of those kinds of videos. You can't ignore that aspect if you want your channel to grow as a whole very well. Okay, now let's talk about phases. Me personally, in my long journey of being on YouTube, I have absolutely gone through multiple phases of my channel. And I guess I kind of hinted this in the first tip, but you are going to go through phases of loving and hating your channel. And that is totally okay. There have been multiple times where I have thought about giving up on my channel, thought that I'm tired of doing this channel. I'm tired of giving tips. I've run out of things to say. There's been times that I've had imposter syndrome, feeling like I'm not the best person to be giving these tips and I'm underqualified for this job. And then oppositely, there's been times where I am absolutely in love with my channel. I am really excited seeing the growth of certain videos and just the overall growth of my channel, getting really excited when people leave really positive comments. And there's been plenty of days where all I want to do is spend all day just writing scripts and working on my channel and looking up different kinds of ways to better my channel, essentially. And similarly to that first tip, it's okay to put your channel on pause if you decide that you are no longer in love with your channel. More than likely, you just need to take a break from your channel, take a pause, circle back around, maybe even in a month from now, and revisit it. Do the things that you were doing at the very beginning of your channel days where you were really doing a lot of research and getting excited and looking at different ideas of things that you could do. Maybe you just need to take a little bit of extra time to fall back in love with your channel. And again, that is totally okay. Okay, next, let's talk about courses. If you've been on YouTube, if you've been interested in YouTube, then you know there are about 1 million courses that are out there that you can take to learn how to succeed on YouTube. When I was first starting on my YouTube journey, I also was in this space of looking up a lot of YouTube tips, looking for different kinds of courses, looking for channels that offered a lot of tips in a very step-by-step sequence that would help me in my early days of growing my channel. Particularly, I did sign up and pay for a course. It was Sunny Lenarduzzi's YouTube course. I forget what it was called. I don't actually know if it still exists now. I think she may have gotten rid of it. And I also don't remember how much I paid for it. Potentially $200 or $300 maybe for the course. And before I get into what was in the course that I appreciated. I first want to note that before I did that, I spent a very long time on YouTube watching all of her videos, watching all of her YouTube tips, getting as much free information that I could before I decided that not only do I want to pay money for a YouTube course, but I specifically wanted to pay her for a YouTube course. I think it can be very easy to just want to jump into finding the first YouTube course that you see and jumping in, paying for it without even doing like the research to know if you even want to have a channel and knowing all that goes into growing that channel. I would highly advise you to do as much research as you can for free. If you decide that you would like to pay for a step-by-step course, I would still say do your research, find a creator that you really like, that you like learning from, that is offering free content to you without this paywall of buying their course to get all that information. Because really the only benefit that a course should provide is that they take all of that free information and they compile it in a very organized way for you to understand in a step-by-step process. They provide additional resources potentially to help you. And overall, the course itself is truly worth paying for rather than doing all of that work yourself for free. Particularly in Sunny's course, I really liked it because it had a very much step-by-step process of the very, very beginnings of building a channel and all of the steps after that came with that up until around your first 1,000 subscribers. Now, it came with a lot of free resources, like spreadsheets in particular was really helpful. That included a lot of different templates and prompts and different ways to keep your ideas organized, which I found really helpful and worth the money. There are templates for things like SEO and scripts and things like that that I still use to this day to help me in every video that I make. And one of the best things about the course was that it also came with a community. So once you signed up for the course, you were able to join their Facebook community. And through that, it actually helped because you were in this group with a lot of other creators, thousands of other creators that also were in the same boat where you were posting your first, few handful of videos and you didn't really have any audience. And so all of us would kind of also give each other a boost, like, hey, let's all kind of watch each other's channels and just like and leave comments and some engagement to just kind of like help boost things up. And then of course you could talk to the people in the community, and I ended up making a really good friend in that community that kind of helped as sort of an accountability partner of sort to help you in those early days again as you are trying to build your channel. So that was particularly my course experience with buying a YouTube course. I would love to hear your thoughts because I know that that is a huge thing on YouTube, not only YouTube tips, but YouTube courses. And I definitely know that there's so much free information out there. You just have to take the time and energy to find it. And so that is the tough thing with the course conversation, is whether or not they are worth it. So in my case, I do think that it was worth it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts below on that. If we haven't met yet, I am Colleen, and in this channel, I help you to get a video editing job, and I help you get paid doing what you love. For me, that's freelance, that's video editing. If that is something that you like, I'd so appreciate if you can hit the like button below so this video spreads to more people, and I'd so appreciate it if you can subscribe. Also, for more details on my Skillshare classes, particularly my newest one, which is all about learning Premiere Pro as a video editor, and to receive a free month of Skillshare, you can find all that info in the link below. Consuming versus creating. Let's talk about balance here. Now, maybe this is just a personal thing for me. As someone who wasn't a YouTube consumer when I was a kid and in my early days.
Look at you, so young and happy. Where do the years go?
But now, as a YouTube creator, I have very much become a YouTube consumer. I watch YouTube all day. I don't watch TV. I listen to my podcasts on YouTube. I watch everything on YouTube. And for most of the time, I need constant stimulation whenever I'm going through my days. So I like having something playing in the background, and usually that is YouTube. Now, the problem with that, and maybe you can relate, is that as a consumer of content and also a creator of content, I often find myself battling the same problem that I do with social media, where with me, I am a social media video editor And so I make a lot of content for social media. If I'm gonna be making it for social media, I'm going to be posting it through social media. I'm on social media. I already have the problem of being on TikTok or Instagram for too long. And now added on top of that in the past few years has been needing to create YouTube content, but also being on YouTube for too long and preferring to maybe watch YouTube instead of creating for YouTube. This is not really a tip per se, because it's not something that I have overcome. I still struggle with it all the time. And depending on how I'm feeling at different parts of the day or week, I won't really want to do anything else but sit around and watch YouTube and not focus on actually doing the work that I should be doing. And I just think it's an interesting conversation in general that the more that we have, the more we will all just become more aware of it in ourselves and learn to just slowly overcome it. So I'd love to hear if you struggle with this as well, if you are a content creator who also likes to consume a lot of content and just sort of the balance between that. And I do hear from a lot of creators that something that helps them a lot is not being on social media as a consumer, being on it as a creator, and even taking the time potentially to say, I am gonna be on YouTube every day. I'm gonna be on YouTube for 2 hours every day. But in that time that you're on YouTube, you're not just around watching your random videos. You are on there actively doing work, research, or what have you. Same with being on social media. You can actively say, I'm gonna spend 2 hours on Instagram every day. And in those 2 hours, you are doing something that actively helps you and your channel or your freelance work or whatever. So you're spending time on the app and maybe somewhat getting that fix that you might need, I need, but you are doing something productive while you are doing that. Now, have I done that? No. Would I like to do that? Yes. So it's definitely something that we could probably all work on a little bit more just to become better creators in general, but would love to hear your thoughts in general on that below. Okay, let's talk about comparisons. You know, similar to a lot of these tips, and honestly, in general, this video maybe is not like other YouTube tips because it's my own personal journey and the things that I have gone through. So of course, it's very tailored to me and my particularly slow journey. Some people get monetized on YouTube after like a year. It took me like 3 years to get monetized. So off the bat, my journey was very slow. And then even now, I think it has been 5 years since I've been on YouTube. And I'm just now hitting 10K. And that is amazing. A lot of people never hit 10K. I'm super proud of what I have accomplished, but it definitely has been a very slow journey. And so it's taken me a lot of time to have these reflections about myself and my channel and my business and stuff like that. And in that 5 years, of course, I am also going to be comparing myself to other channels whenever I hear of channel A getting monetized after a whole year and channel B is getting monetized after 6 months of being on YouTube. And it all, of course, depends on so many factors. It depends on your consistency, which I have never been super good at. It depends on your niche, which my niche is a little bit smaller than some niches. It depends on a lot of general factors. It depends on your willingness to go and do hard videos that are maybe harder to shoot. I've always had a hard time creating tutorials, but I know that if I were to become a tutorial channel, my channel would probably go through the roof and would do really, really well. But I don't really want my channel to be like that. It's all very interesting, the journey that you have in YouTube and the kind of channel that you want to build for yourself. And then what that means in comparison to other channels. Your channel is so special in its own way. And I think it's important for each channel to be special because it makes people want to either not subscribe to you or really want to subscribe to you and be a part of your journey and hear what you have to say and be a part of your community. With that, with being a special channel, with being, you know, your own channel and doing things your own way, your journey is not going to look like everyone else's. So that's just something that I've had to learn over time, is that I am competing with myself. I'm competing with only myself every day, trying to just get a little bit better every day, every week, every year at different things that I do, both with my freelance business and with my YouTube channel. And so I would just say it's the same for you. Only compete with yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people. Just compare yourself to what you were doing on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. What were you doing last year? How have you grown since then? Things like that. I think that's the really only healthy way to grow as a YouTube channel, because it's so tough out there. And there's so many factors that change the way that different people grow their channels versus other people. That's all I have to say about that. Similarly, I'd like to talk about being yourself, being authentic, being genuine. Like I was just kind of saying before, if I would adopt certain kinds of videos into my channel and do things a little bit differently, I could potentially grow my channel a lot faster. Let's use the tutorials as an example. Say I take on tutorials and I decide to start doing regular tutorials and those videos start to do really, really well. And then I think, well, if I want my channel to grow quickly and do well and make more money, that would be the smart thing. Just start doing tutorials. I hate making tutorials. Maybe one day I will love them. Maybe one day I will figure out better, easier ways to do them and invest in the software and things like that to make them really cool and better. I don't know. I just don't like making tutorials. It's just not one of my strengths. So I feel like if I were to adopt that, I would just, one, have a lot of resistance. I already do have so much resistance into making, even I have a series on my notes app of YouTube ideas of things that I could do for this channel. And I have a whole series of tutorials that I know would do well and would just be a quick, short little series of tutorials just to have them on here. I cannot get myself to do those videos for the life of me. If I started doing them and they did really well, then I would feel really inclined to do them. But if I hated doing them, I don't know. I just feel like that could put me in a tough spot with my channel. Across the board, looking at YouTube from sort of a more objective perspective, like I see a lot of things like the whole Mr. Beast thing is a great example too, because Mr. Beast has this very particular style of how he does his videos. And then you start to see everybody trying doing their videos like him, trying to do it in Mr. Beast style. And I feel like that is really inauthentic. I feel like people are gonna be following your channel because you remind them of Mr. Beast, but you're not Mr. Beast. I feel like that's a really hard thing to keep going with continually because it's not truly you. And is that actually the style that you want? Or are you just doing that because it works for Mr. Beast, so it must work for you too? And so across the board, are we doing these shorts that everybody has with the thick block text popping up and all the different graphics and everything? Are we doing those because we really think that fits with our channel and that will help our channel grow? Or are we doing this because everybody else is doing that? And I've seen some people on YouTube also countering this of this super highly engaging punch the air, like I'm gonna punch you in the face with this information and this is so exciting and you have to watch to the very end, and just so much emphasis on retention and getting people to watch my video. And there's already people countering this on YouTube saying, I think we're really getting burnt out on YouTube and as a society, like with social media and everything. Like, I just don't think that this kind of style is going to last. That makes me think that in general, the most important thing that you can do on your channel is to be very authentically you. Yeah, it's easy to just like make a channel you don't really care about, but if it's good for the algorithm, it makes you money. I just don't see that as being sustainable. I don't think it's something that you're going to continually love to do. I think it's going to become a burden for you and something that you're just going to have to maintain. And you're not going to truly love your channel, which I think is something that has been starting to go away from YouTube and people are kind of missing, is just good old solid channels that people love, that have people being the center of them, and that people just love to watch and love to hear from those particular people. That is my thoughts on that. Be authentic. Be yourself. That is the most important thing that I think you should focus on when you are building your YouTube channel. Focus on community. This is actually a tip from the course that I mentioned earlier. And let me try and explain it the best way that I can. Essentially, there are three kinds of videos. There are evergreen videos. Most of my channel is full of those. So it's the kind of videos that they don't really do well a particular time versus other times. They're evergreen in that way. And they're the kind of videos that you would search for. They're very searchable content. So you're searching for video editing tips. Most of my videos are coming up in that way. There's nothing viral or topical about these videos. And again, they have a searchable quality to them to where you can find them through searching. All right, so there's that. Then there is viral content. So very topical content that's surrounded by current events or something going on online or on TikTok or whatever. When you make a video video about that said topic, a lot of people are more than likely going to want to find that content. And so it's going to get potentially a lot of views during one particular time. And then more than likely those views will kind of drop off when nobody really cares about that topic any longer. Then there's kind of a third category that's kind of like vlogs and things like that, where the content is sort of for your community. It's not necessarily searchable. It's not really viral. It's really just kind of for your community, for your viewers who already know you. You wouldn't be able to really search it, but the people who already follow your channel might enjoy that kind of a content because they know you and more than likely they like you. Now, the question then is what kind of content do you focus on for your channel? Because each has a different benefit. Something that I have personally focused on my channel is that I would rather focus on evergreen content combined with potentially more community-like videos. And I don't even do too much of those, maybe every once in a while when I decide to rant about my freelance business, which happens every quarter or so. But I tend to focus on more of those kinds of videos rather than the viral content, mainly because, well, there's not a lot of viral topics going on in the freelance video editing industry world, maybe slightly, but it's not super intense versus if you were maybe more of a pop culture channel, there would of course be plenty of things to talk about. But I've decided to kind of just focus on that more evergreen content more than anything, because I know that even if it's slow growing over time, it will continue to get views forever, potentially, because people are always going to be searching for something like that. And there is such a huge dump of videos on those particular topics for my channel. Again, a lot of people want to kind of jump into doing viral content because it gets you a lot of views, and views can be great. Views can get you money. Views can get you subscribers. Views can get you a lot of attention on YouTube. But even though views might get you subscribers, if those subscribers are subscribing to a viral video of yours, they might just be doing it because it got so many views. They're not actually potentially interested in your channel and in your content. They just liked the one video that you had made, and it's not actually going to lead you into building an actual community. And building a community is one of the best things that you can do on your channel. And it is something that I would like to start doing a little bit more on my channel now that we've got a solid little army of 10K people, which is super amazing. Again, thank you so much for that, everybody who subscribed. But I'm pretty confident that of those 10K subscribers that I have, most of them are genuinely interested in my content versus them just subscribing just to subscribe because a video went viral. Because frankly, none of my videos have gone viral. So I know that no one is subscribing for that reason. Now, maybe they are subscribed and they're hoping my channel will maybe go in one direction and maybe it's going in another direction. But generally, most people who are subscribed to my channel, I have a pretty good feeling that people who are subscribed to my channel know what they're in for and they want to be here. And from there, you can build a really strong community when you have your channel off of that foundation of videos that focus more on evergreen content and community content rather than viral content. And the last thing I want to talk about is goals. This is a tip that I had gotten from way back when I would watch a lot of YouTube tips. So it's not my tip, but I will share it with you because I do think it's really important. When it comes to your channel, and actually really in life, this is with a lot of things, focus on what you can do rather than focusing on what you can get. I can't control getting 20,000 subscribers. Can't really control that. However, I can control what I do that I think will get me 20,000 subscribers. I can say to myself, my goal for the next year is to post one video every week consistently. And if I post consistently every week, my track record tells me I'm probably going to get a lot of followers that way because YouTube rewards consistency. So in a lot of different ways, you can set a lot of different goals like that for yourself, but try to focus your goals on concrete things that you can do, like posting a video every week, rather than trying to say, I want to get to this many subscribers by this time, because sometimes it's just not in your control. And similarly, it definitely is absolutely important to keep your goals realistic. It's not a realistic goal to say that I want to go from 0 subscribers to 10K subscribers in 1 year. That's not a realistic goal. Now, could it be a realistic goal to have 0 subscribers and say, I'm going to post one video a week from now until next year. And if I get 1,000 subscribers, then I'll know that my YouTube channel is good and I've got something here and I'm gonna keep going with it. That is a good goal to set for yourself, especially because in that way, you're kind of testing out if you should spend the time and money and effort in your YouTube channel, and you're kind of giving yourself a nice time frame, sort of in an ultimatum style. You're like, I'm gonna do this for 1 year and I'm gonna do it to my best ability. And if I get to this point, that's great. And if I don't, then we're gonna reflect and see if it's really worth it. Which is also important to do. But overall, be realistic with your goals and focus on what you can do, not what you can get. If you are subscribed to my channel, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this whole video and being subscribed and being a part of my channel. I really, really appreciate it. Could not have obviously done it without any of you. So thank you so much. If you did watch this video all the way through and you're watching it now and you're thinking, wow, that's so crazy. I'm not even subscribed and I watched this whole thing. I really want you to subscribe. I really do. I want you to subscribe if you are interested in freelance, if you're interested in video editing, if you like looking at my face, I want you to subscribe because you know what? 10K is great, but I want this next year for me to be a great year for YouTube for me. I want to do a lot with it. I want to build a better community for all of us where we could like really benefit off of having a good solid community of video editors that are freelance, that are all just trying to help each other get to where we want to be in life. So if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't liked this video yet, please hit the like button below. Thank you so much to my editor, Logan. And again, thank you so much to you guys. I will see you all in the next video. Have the best one.